Hey everyone, I'm Jemin. I've been building Gunpla on and off for about 7 years at this point. And today we're taking a look at the second Master Grade I've ever built, the Master Grade Freedom Gundam 2.0. Let's go! Back when I started building Gunpla, I had a pretty challenging process picking and choosing what model kit to get. I had to find designs I really liked, but I also had to check out reviews online to get hints of what their construction was like. Because if the kit needed a lot more work than I was prepared for, I would just skip it because I didn't have tools or skills for stuff like seam removals. Luckily, I gathered enough information and landed on what I would say is one of the best Gunpla kits I ever built, the Master Grade Freedom Gundam 2.0. Taking a look at the box, we see a pretty cool illustration of the Freedom Gundam in space. Like any other kit, we get two identical sides. On this side of the box, we see the front view and the rear view of the completed Freedom Gundam. They showcase how this can do action poses, as well as surface details, layers in the armor, the pilot figures, and the included weapons and markings. We also have a few details about the Freedom Gundam, but it's in Japanese, so you can translate that if you want. On the other side of the box, they show a lot more of the gimmicks and special articulation all over the whole model kit. I'm not sure if the Japanese text mentions this, but it does come with the stand that they're using for these pictures. Opening the box, yeah, this actually isn't a fresh Freedom 2.0. I built this one in particular a couple of years ago already. I just never made a video about this until now. But I still have the manual and the stickers. So we get a sticker decal sheet, some dry transfers, and some foils for the sensors. We have a booklet style manual that shows you which runners you need for the part you're building, so you don't have to look through every single runner while you're building. The center fold has some nice images and a paint guide, as well as some info in Japanese that you can translate using your phones if you want. And at the back you get a nice big front view of the built model kit. Sorry I can't show you the runners because it's already built, but I will be building my Justice Gundam pretty soon. You'll get to see that they share a few runners actually, so subscribe if you want to see this next time. So here is the Master Grade Freedom Gundam 2.0 out of the box, with no panel lining, no stickers, no decals, so you get to see what it looks like before any extra work is done on the model. This looks really good. You get the cool Gundam design with the big wings that flare out. I know it's not exactly what you see in Gundam Seed or Seed Destiny, but I'm just really into the added surface details and the more slender proportions. I've had a Freedom Gundam for years and I just don't get sick of looking at this Master Grade. This is one of the reasons why I think this is one of the best Gunpla kits I've ever built. It's really fun to see again and again. The Zeta Gundam and its series is definitely always going to be my favorite, but the Freedom Gundam's design, I just can't get sick of it. Here are a few size comparisons to give you an idea how big of a display piece the Freedom 2.0 is. Here it is beside the real grade RX-78-2 version 2.0, the Pliobot Gurren Lagann, the Master Grade RX-78-2 version 3.0, a big Master Grade, the Sazabi Verka, a Freedom Gundam Gashapon, my fake plant, and my previous most recent review, the 30 Minutes Fantasy Liber Holy Knight. I think the Freedom 2.0 really gives you your money's worth in terms of having a great display piece. The design is sleek, and the wings definitely add so much more presence. Before we talk about the accessories, if you've found this review of the Master Grade Freedom Gundam 2.0 enjoyable, please leave a like below. And if you've watched more than one of my videos, please consider subscribing. It would really help a lot. Thanks. Now talking about the accessories, I'm a really big fan of the equipment it comes with. The shield is a nice variation of the usual Gundam shield, plus it has a shooting hole that they use a few times in the anime. The beam rifle is a nice and unique design. I like that it's not all in gray. You can keep it on the back skirt when not in use. And the beam sabers, they're kinda normal, except when you put them together to have a double-sided Darth Maul kind of weapon. And if you don't want to use them, you can keep the handles in the side skirts. Then you get weapons that are already on the body. And I'm not talking about the head Vulcans or the chest Vulcans. We get railguns on each hip and in each wing. I wish I had the Effect Parts expansion set because that would just make this look much more impressive. We also get some interchangeable fingers for closed fists, open palm hands, holding hands, and a single right-handed trigger finger hand for the rifle. We also get a standing pilot figure of Kira. And lastly, because this has wings, of course you gotta let it fly. They give you an action base. I love it when they include stands in action bases. It just makes sense that you have one, because you probably want to display this in whatever way you want. All Gunpla kits should just have action bases included. I'm gonna check out the joints with the backpack off, just so it's easier to move around. I've pretty much been glazing the Freedom 2.0 this whole video now, but even the articulation is pretty good. Starting off with the head, it's a double ball joint, so it can move around there. Of course, go all the way around. Now the chest is pretty interesting. This whole section here can move forward. You can see it there. This is more forward than the other side. Makes it easier to reach the other side if you want to pose it that way. We also have a hinge at the top for bending it upward. And this is the arm all the way up to the side. The shoulder armor can swivel here and also hinge up and down. The top of the arm also has a hinge, and you can also swivel at the bicep. There's a gimmick here that you can actually extend the arm for a nice double jointed elbow bend. We have a bit of movement at the cuff, and the hand itself is on a ball joint. The thumb also on a ball joint. And the fingers are interchangeable. Now back to the torso, we have an opening cockpit hatch. You can see Kira inside. For ab crunch, you have this much. Pretty good. And then not too much of bending back, because I guess you need to support the weight of the wings. You also have some side-to-side hinging. The waist pegs into the torso, so you have a swivel, but not too much because things get in the way, like the front skirting armor as well as the back skirting armor. Now the front skirts are on ball joints and hinges, so you can get them out of the way for when you need to. The back skirt can hinge down, and then the side skirts can shift up and down, as well as swing front and back. Of course, it's a railgun, so it can unfold like so, and it has a handle. Now for the hips. These are actually pretty notorious for breaking easily. The peg inside there that connects this cylindrical part kind of snaps off for a lot of people. I actually have some die-cast metal replacement parts for the hip joint, because the first Master Grade Freedom that I built did break at the hip. So this is gonna come in handy if and when that happens. I even got a set for my Master Grade Justice. Gonna be easy fixes with these. That's one of the downsides of this model kit. But if you are careful, you can kind of just not handle it too much and it won't break. But the articulation itself is pretty cool. You have a mechanism that bends it down, so you can get a lot of articulation with the legs. The top of the thigh here can swivel, and one of the signature features of this model kit is the shifting thigh armor that moves forward. At the time when I first built this was pretty amazing. You can see the knee bend right there, it's pretty nice. It also has some nice details at the back of the knee. And here we also have another gimmick. We have this flap. For the ankles, it can swivel like so. And then the ankle guards can swivel up and down as well. Here's the foot fully pointed down. And then here's the added toe bend, which points it down even more. And it reveals some piston detail at the ankle as well. But here it is all the way up, not too much. Now for the backpack, it also has a lot of moving parts. Each of the wings can shift forward like so. It can go all the way around actually, because that's just a peg. And then it can also hinge in and out like this. Each of the wing sections here can also move like so, and this can go out. You can also move these. Even the railgun can move and hinge like so. The railgun's also open and extend, not too much, but it definitely adds a lot more to the visuals. And lastly, we have these opening flaps on each side of the wings. I think it's supposed to be like an exhaust or more thrust. I'm pretty sure it's in the manual, but I can't read it. So yeah, the backpack adds a lot more movement for the kit, not just visual appeal. Making use of all of that movement, you can definitely put the Freedom Gundam into some really nice poses. The poses on the box are definitely doable, and you can definitely get creative with how you want to display this. The articulation in the main body and the added movement in the wings, it's just really fun to explore the different poses this can do. Just don't forget to be careful of that hip joint. To tie in this whole review, let's talk about how well this model kit goes together. First of all, it's fun. The detail they designed into the inner frame parts gave me a lasting impression that this is like a machine with complex engineering. And when you have this all built up, the gimmicks all around the model, in the wings, in the hip railguns, the cockpit hatch, the sliding thigh armor, makes it feel very interactive. But that hip joint, the notorious J4, the one fatal flaw that keeps this model kit from being perfect. It's definitely something you can't ignore. So you really have to be careful with it, or just replace it with die-cast metal parts. This is actually such a common issue that you can basically look through online shops and you'll probably find a set that you can order. It is gonna be an extra expense, but those replacement parts shouldn't be too expensive. And if you think about it, you get to save on action base money anyway, since this already comes with an action base of its own. Overall, the Master Grade 2.0, the second Master Grade I ever built years and years ago, is not perfect, but is still one of the best model kits I've ever built and would recommend anybody to build. Thanks for watching. Just a quick announcement, you can now support the channel through Patreon. I've added a link to my page down in the description, so feel free to browse through the tiers and check out the benefits of each one. You can get wallpapers, credits in my next videos, and more. It is completely voluntary, so whichever tier you choose, if you do sign up, I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to see more model kit builds and reviews, click that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, click that like button. And if you've built this kit or have thoughts on it, let me know in the comments. See you in the next one.